So I was working in a conference room with one of my team member. We were having some meeting or discussion, and after our conversation got over, we continued to stay in that particular room. He was working on his laptop. I was working on my laptop. And this is something which happened almost 10 years ago, not in India, but I was in the US at that point in time. And this happens a lot, right? After the meeting gets over, sometimes we just stay in the room naturally, continue to work and chat casually. So that's what was happening. And all of a sudden, one of my client or customer messaged me that there is some urgent and important issue which he wanted to discuss with me. And he said, Anand, can we get on a call? And I said, okay, let me quickly call you. And I just picked up the phone over there and I dialed his number. I did not realize that this person is still in the room, or even if I realized, I did not think much about it. I just dialed the number and put the call on speaker. And guess what? This customer started to complain. He started to raise issues about something which was not going right. And the entire concern or complaint, the entire thing which this customer was saying was actually about this person sitting just next to me. And it was a very complex situation. This person, as soon as he heard that conversation, stopped working and he started to look at me that what is this happening, and he started to make his gestures. Now, he was not supposed to speak because the customer did not know that we were on a speaker and this person was right there in the room. But it was a really complex scenario. And somehow I got over that call. And as soon as I put the phone down, this team member of mine started to blast me that, Anand, how can you do this? Whatever this customer is saying is not right. I have done these things. Whatever he's saying is not making sense. And he just went on to explain himself. Not just that, my team member also had a concern that I actually did not defend him in front of the customer. Now, he was right from his point of view because I really could not defend because I was not even having relevant information or data points to get into that call. I just got into that call on impulse. So moral of the story is be very careful when you have meetings. A, have the right information with you before you get into the call. At least understand the context of why you are getting into that call. And number two, please make sure that you don't have people around you who are not supposed to be around you. As a general rule, I would like to suggest, please don't put your office calls on speaker. Irrespective of whether you are at your home or you are in your office, avoid putting calls on speaker. Because there are other people listening. Even if they are your family members, they can listen to the conversation and they will understand a little bit about it, but they will probably not understand the entire thing. Same at your workplace. There may be people who may not be having any connection about that call, but they still get to listen the conversation. And when people listen, they start to judge. They start to have certain thoughts in their mind about what was being discussed. And sooner or later, they will start to give you some feedback, or they will keep that in their mind and they will probably use that conversation at a later point in time. So avoid putting calls on speaker when it is really not needed. If you have 5 team members and it is required for all 5 of them to listen to that conversation, then it's completely fine, put that on speaker. But if it is a private conversation, avoid putting calls on speaker. So that was one real life experience which I wanted to share with you. Other than this, what I would suggest is when you are responding to emails, be very sure of whom you have copied and whom you have not copied. That is extremely important. Sometimes when an email chain is going on, some smart people in the middle will take certain people off, or they will add some people to this email chain without even mentioning that I am removing or I am adding somebody. So be very careful when an entire conversation is happening on an email thread, because you never know, somebody might just escalate the entire issue by adding some VP or senior VP on the email without even writing a line that I am adding this person on the thread. And you might just not catch it and write something without even realizing who all you are responding to. Also, when it comes to email, please make sure that you don't emote a lot on the email. Email is not meant for expressing your emotions as such. Try to avoid being emotional. There was one incident where I was really frustrated. I came back from a meeting really frustrated, got onto my laptop and wrote 1-page email, really emotional email, and sent it out to a lot of people. What happened? The next day, I got involved into 5 other meetings because of my email. Forget about the original issue. People started to talk about things which were there in my email, why it was written in that particular tone, who all were copied, etc., etc. So I had to get into 5 different meetings to explain people what was happening. So moral of the story is, even if you are frustrated or emotional, try to take a step back. Maybe go for a walk, maybe talk to somebody, have a cup of tea or coffee, come back and then look at the choice of words that you have used. There are high chances that once you cool down, you will probably re-articulate the entire thing in a different way. So that was point number 2, which a lot of times we ignore or just get carried away with. Point number 3, in the digital world, when you are working from home or if you're working remotely or in a hybrid mode, always be ready to get on a video call. Nobody needs to tell you that, okay, this is going to be a video call, but you should always be ready to get in a video call, which means you should have a decent background or at least have a virtual background if you don't have a decent background to get on a video call, and always be dressed appropriately, because you never know who is going to be on the call and if they are going to ask you to turn on the video. And it is really courtesy or decency to get on a call and turn on the video if the other person is turning on the video. So if you get on a call and the other people are turning on their video, it is absolutely important for you to turn on your video as well, unless you have some really genuine reason why you cannot do that. Once in a while, that is fine. But otherwise, if everybody is on a call and people are turning on their video, you need to ensure that you also turn on your video. Because in such scenarios, you don't want to single yourself out. In such scenarios, you don't want to look like an odd man out. And if you are not comfortable getting on video calls while everybody else is getting on video calls, then please start to get into that habit. Because it is not about what is being said, it is also about how it is being said. And body language is an absolutely important part of the entire conversation. Alright, so these are 3 things which I thought I should share it with you from my experience, and I hope you are able to relate to it, and some of it you have either seen or experienced as well. Do let me know your thoughts in comments. I'll be happy to read and respond to them. Share this video in a network if you think somebody else can benefit from it. I'll see you in another video soon. Take care and bye for now.